Hello everybody, Ryan Reed from Dice Up the Classroom here for another book review. And it's a really good one I've been looking forward to since I saw it on the pre-release row, and that is They Call Me Mr. D, the story of the Columbine's heart, resistance, and recovery by Frank Diagalis, which of course is the former principal of Columbine High School, which we all know about the tragedy that happened in April 20th, 1999, almost 20 years ago. This book was, I know I've said this a lot about book, but this one really not only gets to the heart of it, but it is absolutely incredible. I just got hooked on this book right away. I mean, it was very engaging about the stories about how Mr. D started in his career to what led to Columbine, to that unfortunate day, and then of course the rebuilding and aftermath that happened afterwards. And I was just 21, just barely a month past my 21st birthday when all of this happened, and it was really just a shock to all of us, and we had to worry about this. I had 4 younger siblings, not even have started high school at that point in time, and it just was really hitting hard about what that could actually look like and happen. And of course, since I went into education in 2010, that started becoming more of a reality too, as I worked in some inner city schools, and lockdowns were a possibility, and so forth, and we had a lot of in here. But I think what's really just what gives me is such a well written story that Frank does in this book. I mean, I wish I could just go like other books and just talk about things that really stuck out to me or things that really hit me. And I have to say almost everything in here does, from the aftermath to rebuilding the community to the, problems that happened to the way things got spun by the press and a few other things. There's not one thing in this book that did not catch me, especially talking about the 13. I was reading about there towards the end of the book, and I have to say I almost teared up. It was an incredible story, and I wish I could just give even more into this, but this is a book you need to look up. If you're an administrator, if you're an educator, if you think you're going into education, if you're a former student, this is a book to really pick up. It talks about leadership. It talks about leading with your heart. And something that did take out of me were almost really hard for me, which really got me to, was chapter 20, which is about leadership. And I think that was one of the great things. And I love the one part he puts in here out of all the great thing. Difference between a boss and a leader. A boss demands. A leader coaches. Relies on authority. A leader relies on goodwill. Bosses issue ultimatums. Leaders generate enthusiasm. Says I, a leader says we. Boss uses people, a leader develops people. Huge point throughout the book about how not only was Frank himself put as a leader and a coach himself, but how he coached others and how he developed leadership in those roles all the time. How bosses take credit, but a leader gives credit. And there's not one point in here that Frank did not give credit to a student, to a teacher, to a member of the community. Bosses places blame, a leader accepts blame. Something people always talk to me is I seem to always be the first to take blame, and they said that is not a good thing. You can't be a martyr. Yes, but being a leader means you need to know when you make your mistakes. You know when it's your problem and it's your issue, and you've got to find a way to make it better. And if that means seeking help, you seek help. And if that means, you have to go back and make mistakes, that is. And I think too many of us are not only afraid to make mistakes, but once we have something that makes mistakes or goes wrong, we deflate. And someone who has been through many, employments for various reasons, budget cuts, losses, blame from bosses, it really hit hard that, maybe it's not a bad thing I make mistakes. Maybe it's not a bad thing I've made several mistakes. We all make mistakes. We have to learn from that. And I think we're too easy sometimes to take blame or trying to blame somebody for things that happen that we don't know or don't understand or can't control, feeling that if we don't do it this way, then, world's going to be worse. But we have to learn from our mistakes. We have to remember from our errors. And I think the way things right here is, boss, my way or the highway. Leader, strength, and unity. They came together, and he brought the community and the school together, Mr. D, and they rebuilt. And he made it all the way through all those students from 1999 all the way to 2014 up to his retirement in the last class age. And I have to say, when I've been watching Mr. D's stories, since it ever happened, I remember even the news broadcast of the new school year for the 99-2000 school year, because that was also my school year from college. And I remember just watching his speech and how they were going to go for that we were rebels and you are a rebel for life, and we are going to go forward. You can't stop us. And I have to say, this was really an inspiring book. I can't say enough about this. I even got on as soon as I finished it. I couldn't put it down. I even thanked on Twitter Mr. D, Terry Lunson, who of course helped him write this, as well as all the people involved in the Dave Burgess Consulting Incorporated about getting this book out. This is a book that I believe anyone who is a teacher, an administrator, a student teacher, or a former student, maybe even a current student, needs to pick up. It is a fantastic book, and I wish I could give this more than 5 stars. I really want to give this an A+ with 7 stars, my lucky number, because this is a fantastic book. If you've been wondering about buying it or thinking about picking it up, please do. This is an incredible book here, because They Call Me Mr. D is a huge winner of a book, and probably one of the best ones I've read in the last couple of years. So please pick it up. And Frank, Terry, DBC, Shelley, Dave, Tara, thank you for bringing this book to all of us. It is incredible. Thank you.